Hi friends, if you are stumped for dinner, let me tell you, this is the recipe that you are looking for. I had planned on having fresh fish for supper tonight, and I missed the fish man who comes from the South Shore of Nova Scotia, and I missed him in town tonight. So I had planned on having fresh fish. That didn't happen. So by 4 o'clock, I'm like, oh my gosh, what am I making for supper? So I decided to have Korean beef, which I absolutely love. So here's how you make it. I added 2 cups of long grain rice, which I rinsed and cleaned really well, and added it to my Instant Pot with 2.5 cups of water and a little pinch of salt. Now, if you don't have an Instant Pot or you don't want to use your Instant Pot, you can certainly use instant rice. So I'm just going to cook this rice on high in my Instant Pot for 3 minutes. And I just let it do its natural pressure release. Make sure that you've got your seal closed and you are ready to rock and roll. Next up, time to cook some ground beef. So I didn't even have ground beef thawed because of course I was planning on having fresh fish for dinner. So how I thawed my beef was I just filled up the sink with cold water. I put in a pound of lean ground beef that we had purchased from our farmer friend down the road, and I just let it thaw in the cold water in the kitchen sink. You can use ground turkey, ground chicken. I've done all of those, the turkey, chicken, and beef, and they all work amazing with this recipe. So I'm just cooking up my beef, and while it's cooking, I'm going to cut up some ginger. You can use dry ginger, but I'm telling you, the fresh ginger makes such a difference, my friends. Did you know you could use a spoon to peel your ginger? Look at this, friends. Easy peasy. So I'm going to chop up approximately a tablespoon of fresh ginger, or you can use a couple teaspoons of dry ginger, whatever you prefer. Once you've got your ginger chopped up, throw it in with your ground beef. I'm also putting in about 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, and this is just garlic that I had purchased from Costco, but you can use 2 or 3 cloves of fresh garlic and just chop that up and throw that in with your ground meat. Next up, 1 teaspoon of sesame oil. Stir that in really well. And again, I'm using lean ground beef, so there's not a lot of fat in this beef. Then you're going to season it to taste. I added a teaspoon of sea salt, a little shake of seasoning salt, and a little shake of black pepper. Again, mix that up really well. Now I'm adding my brown sugar. The recipe that I use calls for half a cup of brown sugar, but you can absolutely change that to a 1/4 cup of brown sugar. And now I'm adding my soy sauce, so you're getting the sweet and the savory. And oh my gosh, these are such simple ingredients, but I'll tell you what, this meal is outstanding every time. So once that brown sugar dissolves and everything mixes in with the soy sauce, it'll make its own sauce, and you're just gonna let it simmer. Now I'm adding a little bit of crushed red peppers. You can add that to taste. And I think the crushed red peppers makes a really big difference. So I encourage you to try that. So I'm just going to let everything simmer and have a little party in the frying pan. While that beef is simmering in that beautiful sauce, I'm just chopping up some green onions to garnish on the top. The green onions really do make a difference, but if you don't have any, don't worry about it. You can also use some dried chives, but honestly, the fresh green onions or even green onion tops, it just makes such a difference. So my rice is ready. It's surprising to think that it takes only 3 minutes for that rice to cook in the Instant Pot, but if you figure the time it takes for it to come to pressure, and then I just let it come to natural pressure release, and it's perfect rice every single time. And you can use brown rice as well. Sprinkle on your onions. I'm also going to add some chopped peanuts, and usually I add some sesame seeds as well. And that, my friends, is it. Garnish it however you like. I like my food spicy, so I'm adding some more red peppers and a little bit more black pepper. This is absolutely delicious. So again, if you are looking for a quick, easy recipe, my friends, this is it. Let me know if you try this. It's so delicious. See you next time.